Hi, Mike from the Fulcrum. Back out on the skis today, back in the marsh. Dead quiet, almost no wind, 0 degrees. Perfect skiing conditions. We had about another 2 inches of snow last night, covered over all the icy sections out here. And just having a little sit down by the water, pondering past and future. And sitting here looking at my skis and thinking back to when I first started skiing. Be circa about 1984. So yeah, 40 years ago. Hard to believe. Time slips by so fast. I would imagine just about everybody that I skied with back in the day, probably none of them are still on skis, or even go out and skate for that matter. People tend to hang up these activities as they get a little bit older. So unless you can find a group of people to go with, you're going to find sometimes getting back into things you used to love to do, that you're still capable of doing, being rather a solitary affair. And you have to come to grips with that, make peace with that, and enjoy it for what it is. The only company I have with me today is some crows that were curious to the music playing on my phone as I was skiing along. They came down to have a look. I might come back here and start bringing some treats for them. Crows are real intelligent creatures, and based on their activity back here in the marsh, I think we're in for an early spring. You know, one of the things I've done to sort of alleviate a little bit of the solitude of doing these things a lot on my own is I have Spotify, not sponsoring this video obviously, but I put on my favorite tunes. I like a huge mix of music, so my favorites collection is absolutely huge. Pop the thing on and just start skiing along. I really enjoy having the tunes going. I want to pick up my pace. I got a couple of workout Spotify lists that I pop on. So I'll go flat out for a bit and then coast for a bit. Or I'll sit here on a log like I'm doing right now and put on some more quiet, reflective stuff. But on a day like today, you can turn it all off and just listen to the stillness. I got a jet flying over me right now at about 34,000 feet. He'll soon be gone and the solitude will be all mine again. You got to embrace the quiet times as well as the ones that are busy and active. And you don't appreciate either until you've had to live with extremes of them. I don't much get into politics, but I think more and more when we're surrounded 24/7 nonstop video and media about all the trials and tribulations in the world, it's overwhelming. And people kind of block themselves off to everything. And if they're going to feel things to the extremes, they're often in a negative way, not in a joyful way. I mean, the media is not going to show us much of very joyful news. If it bleeds, it leads. And if you don't detach yourself from this media, it's going to have a profound negative effect on your overall feelings about just getting up in the morning. I know anymore, I've clicked off a lot of things that I was following on YouTube, which is my primary source of entertainment these days, because you get to blip through the commercials. But I tend to find more positive things about health and fitness, stories of people that have overcome adversity and moved on with their lives, people that have done brave things that will enlighten you and make you feel good about humanity rather than all the nastiness. And I'm not saying there's any kind of Illuminati or whatever. I just think that when interests converge, people in power will agree to do what they want to do. And you and I aren't much part of the equation other than production units, if you know what I mean. I mean, I can't say much. I mean, I worked all my life. I've worked till 67. And if it hadn't been for restrictions of COVID, I'd probably still be working part-time. But it is what it is. We all do what we have to do in order to survive. And quite often we have to work so hard at that, we don't have a moment for quiet reflection. Which is why I think in times past, elderly people that had done reasonably well in life and survived were looked at as, well, not really gurus, but people that you could go and ask advice for and would know what they were talking about because they'd seen the same scenarios play out over and over and over again. Like we're seeing right now with proxy wars being fought by larger countries, basically over resources and future plans for development. To try and make it look patriotic or we're saving democracy or whatever, the same old, same old. But the fact remains, in all these conflicts, a lot of innocent people, men, women, and children, are killed. No way around it. So we need these quiet times to sit and reflect and put our own houses in order and make peace with it all. And I find in places like this, they're the ones to do it. So in my own case, this is how I do it. Every morning, I get up, have a cup of tea, cup of coffee, during spring, summer, and fall, and early in the winter. Sometimes even in the winter, I hop on my mountain bike and go for a ride, change up locations, head back home, have a shower, grab lunch, and get on with my day. In a few minutes, I'm going to strap the skis back on, ski around the point, back through the other end of the marsh, back home, have a hot chocolate, do some editing on this video, although it doesn't look like I do much editing, and get on with my day. I'll probably get on online and search up the latest breakthroughs in science and technology and health that benefit you and me and post up what I find. I hope that my viewers find all these things helpful and improve your lives. I always appreciate comments. Feel free to comment below. Well, it's just starting to snow again. So it looks like I'll have more fresh snow tomorrow. And once again, I'll get out in the morning, strap the skis on, and go. I'm thinking this might be a short season based on the way the weather's been going. We've only really had one cold snap, and now we're right around freezing and above for the rest of the week. So we'll see how this goes. Might have to dust the snow off Hi-O Silver and start riding the mountain bike for a little while. We'll see. As usual, breathe deep, think clearly, enjoy each day. This is Mike from the Fulcrum. Talk to you later.